Hello, and welcome, welcome, welcome. I am so happy to see you. I am so happy, period. But let's talk about who I am. I am Paula Andrea Pyle, and this is Mode of Cosmic Therapy. If you've never joined us before, boy, are you in for a treat. Why? Because you are going to discover, maybe not, but let's say that you just might, find out how your life is 100% connected to everything else that happens. Every person that enters into your life, every meal you ingest in your life, every place you go in your life, everything you do, see, feel, hear, touch, say, it's all connected. Nothing is disconnected. Every single solitary thing fits together like a beautiful, beautiful tapestry. Welcome, Mitzi. Delighted to see your beautiful face behind the cameras. And Sandy, you know how much I love you and appreciate all you do in the control room. I'm so happy. I am so happy. And if I may say so myself, the red is indicative of how happy I am. Do you like red? Red indicates passion, enthusiasm, daring, bold courage, the ability, the potential to even have more daring, courageous adventures. But you got to incorporate red. You got to. Now, since I've said that, you know I'm going to use the word red as I am displaying the color red. In this next 58 minutes, what we're going to do quite spontaneously and without any plan or forethought or any premeditated motive except the underlying motive and intent that is in me, that is directing me without my knowledge or consent, you are going to discover how whatever I put up here on this board will tie itself together, will weave itself magically into this wonderful, wonderful message of the hour. Who's the message for? You, me, Mitzi, the people here at RTN Television Network in Raleigh, North Carolina, and the birds, the air, the furniture, everything vibrates, and we're communicating all the time. You are never alone. Never alone. So in this hour, I will be using astrology, maybe, numerology, most definitely. I might do some out of the Bible, perhaps. I might use the I Ching. Or, who knows, I may possibly take some things out of the books I've written. But whatever happens is exactly and precisely what is supposed to happen for this duration of time, for this place, and for this event that is occurring. That's the point. That's the whole point. You and me and every single solitary other person that inhabits this 7 billion populated world is, are, was, and were at the exact place, point in time and space where you are the most effective, where you are the most productive, where you can be you, and only you can fulfill that part of humanity with your particular destiny. Oh, Paula, that sounds so huge. It is huge. It's a big deal. It's a big deal for you to be real. Mitzi, I've heard 2 words so far, red and real. Let's see where we're going from here. Okay, it is true. When I get on a roll about words, And I don't choose them beforehand. They choose me, just like in everything in your life. You really, really, really are just going along for the ride. There is this wonderful, powerful galactic force, if you will, this divine energy that is operating through you at all times, carrying you to the places you ought to be, saying the things you ought to say, seeing the things you ought to see, hearing the things you ought to hear, feeling and touching and smelling the things you ought to smell at all times. This energy, this divine, sacred energy is happening. It is happening right now. But when I get on a roll, let's get back to that. When I get on a roll, like we said, what? Red and real. Now, I think I'll choose the next word, robust. That's going to be an R word today. Red, real, robust. Red, real, robust. Do you incorporate red in your life? Passionate enthusiasm, a zest for getting up in the morning just to see what the day will bring? Or do you dread it? Do you curse it? Do you hate even the idea of having to go to work or having to interact with whom you may be interacting with? Are you real? Are you real? Do you say the things you really want to say, or do you hold back? Or do you sublimate? I love that word. I love the way it rolls off my tongue. Sublimate, sublimate. It's real sensual to me. But do you? Are you real? Do you to the fullest capacity that you possibly can? Because nobody can do you like you can do you. Nobody. Nobody. Nobody's supposed to either. And what was the last word? Robust. Robust. Full of fever, full of fragrance, full of flamboyance. Even that. You like that? Those beautiful, beautiful flowers are flamboyantly robust. Wow. And so is this container. So is life. So is the air that we breathe. And yet we take it for granted. Anyway, I'm going to start off with these 3 words and see where they little teeny case directs what I say. Back in the pocket. Okay, first word, and I'm going to be using numerology to dissect these words, because you have an idea about words, and yet there is a hidden force, a hidden meaning, an esoteric definition, if you will, that which is hidden, like God. But God really isn't hidden, because he or she or it is in everything that I'm talking about. Everything that we see, hear, feel, or touch, or inhabit. But in this word, in the words that I'll be using, I'm going to break it down, because there's a hidden meaning. So you think you know that this is a color. Well, that might be all that you know. But there's something else going on here. And whatever's going on inside of this word is going on inside of you. It's going on inside of me. And I feel it, I incorporate it, I inhabit it, I embrace it, I acknowledge it, and I am grateful for it. That's the deal, being grateful. All right, let's see. So we're going to start with numerology, like I said. Each letter carries a vibration, just like you do. You vibrate. Everything vibrates. A specific vibration. These letters are alive, just like you're alive. Everything's alive. Everything's alive. But the consonants are the vehicle, the personality of this word. The vowels are the heart of the word. So you have a personality. This is going to be fun for those of you who have never seen this before. The personality of the word will be determined by these consonants. And the heart of the word will be determined by the vowels. Well, there just happens to be one in there. numbers 1 to 10, and then they start 1 through 9, then they start repeating themselves. Okay, so we have got a 5 heart self of the word red, and we have a 13 personality. Making, if you add 5 and 13 together, you have an 18, which is, I'm adding them together in case. Okay, 5, 13 is 18. 1 and 8 equals 9. Now that's as far as I can go with that word. So this will be the outer expression, okay? You have a heart that beats, but you also have a heart, a soul of what you are. Then you have a personality which you show the world. But beyond both of those, the heart and your personality, you have this vehicle of expression that is deeper and bypasses both of those. And this right here is the indicator of what you end up doing. So in those situations that you find yourself and you say, why'd I do that? Why'd I say that? Why'd I go there? Why'd I get involved with that person? It was because of this right here. Your vehicle of expression, your point in contact in the universe, in the galaxy, this little teeny place. This is what you are resonating and vibrating to. The heart of the word red is a 5. That is movement, and I mean vast movement. It is also learning. It is also, because all learning is this, experience. Because experience is the only true teacher. I said experience is the only true teacher. Experience. Your experience. So you don't have to ask Aunt Sally if what you're doing is right. And you don't have to validate what you do by any person other than yourself. Your own experience is your learning. And that is the heart of red. It is the heart of you. All right, 13 is the personality of red. Now 13 represents death. Oh, heaven forbid. How in the world can red represent death? Because if you're going to learn, and if you're going to truly experience anything in this life, authentically, not by what someone else says, not by what you've been conditioned to believe, think, say, do, feel, or hear, but if you are going to authentically be where your feet are at each moment in this experience, you're going to die at least 1,000 times. Don't take that literally, that number, because it's way more than that. You're going to meet and incorporate death in each thing that you do. Each person you meet, each food, each particle of food that you ingest, you're going to meet death. It's a transformation. It's a change. You want to call it a chemical change? Call it a chemical change. You want to call it the reconstructing of your mind power? Call it what you will. You're going to die. Jesus said you're going to die. He said you must die. You must die. Paul said you die daily. You going to argue with Paul? All right. So here's what we know about red so far. We know that it's a beautiful color. We know that it's vivacious. We know that it's fun. We know that it's passionate and courageous. We know that. Okay, we know that much because it has a heart of authenticity. It has a drive of wanting to learn, wanting to experience, wanting to embrace this life while we're here. We know that. We know that much just by this little experiment in dissecting these 3 letters, these short 3 letters. What do we know also? The personality is death. Now that's not, you hear the word and you think, oh gosh, everybody tries to not think about it or try to, make up things in your mind, whatever works for you. Where you're going after you die, how you don't want to die, how different ways that you want to die, all those things. So it always brings with it a negative connotation. But from the moment you entered this earth, the second, you were learning how to die. So if we embrace it in that manner, that all of this whole existence is nothing in the world but the backside of death. This is like inhaling and exhaling, okay? You inhale, you're taking this vast, I use that word, I might use that later, Mitzi, this vast atmosphere and everything in it, and you're inhaling it, okay? And you're having to restrict it. You're having to make it small for just a short season, but you can't stay there. That air can't stay there, and neither can you. It has to be let go. That's the same thing as called release. So in this daily walking, in this hourly walking, in this momentarily walking, we have to release. We have to release any ideas that we have about the second before. Okay, that's death. That's what it is. It's a change in seasons, because that which you are beyond your heart, that which you think you're aware of, or the personality you display, there is this changeless energy that does not change even after going through all of those deaths. Because the death that we're going to face, literally by what we can possibly understand in our finite minds, is more expansive than this little teeny bit of bringing in, holding, and letting out. That little teeny time we're here. That which we are when we're not is so much more than that which we are. Wow. That all came out of red, Mitzi? Wow. Okay. Then we have a 9. Now 9, for all of those who have seen these shows before, you know what that 9 is. I tell you that all the time. You are